Welcome to episode 12 of Between the Lanes. I'm Ralph.
And I'm Ron.
As you can see, we do have a special guest lined up for tonight. Before we get to our guest and to our race results and race announcements, if you haven't done so, go like the Facebook page, like our YouTube page, comment it, share. Let us know what you guys want to see on an upcoming episode. If you got any questions, feel free to ask them. All right, Ron, you ready for some race results?
I got race results. I have lots of race results. All right, Rebel Series this past weekend was at Concord. Dirt Late Model, Wayne Little was your winner, followed by Walker and Timmy Bottoms. We had the same finish in LMP as we did in Dirt Late Model. And then in trucks, it was Russ Martin winning with Walker second, Wayne Little third. And it was the same finish in the NASCAR class.
Okay. So Walker won 2 and Russ won 2.
Yep.
Cool.
And basically, well, as I say, everybody was on this podium, but now it changed a little bit. So, because Russ was in the podium in 2 classes, and Timmy was on the podium in 2 of the other classes. So,
okay.
All right, B&E Crosstown Hard Body Challenge was at Chicagoland Raceway in Chicago. Superstock was run on the Cedar Flat track. Jim Kreider out of the hospital. He was your winner.
Wow.
Yeah. Brian Meharry was second, and John Schroeder was third. And then Pony Stock was ran on the King track with Neil Eisler taking the win, with Bernard Powell and Eldon Wright second and third. The American Womp Racing Association, they had a race in San Diego. Sportsman class, Mike Branian was the winner, Wes Pitton second, and Eddie Tarango third. And then they ran Legends, where Wes was the winner, Mike was second, and Eddie was third again. Yuska also ran at Chicagoland Raceway on Saturday. LMP and stock car was won by Ricky D. 4.5-inch stock car and Can-Am was won by J.P. Melchurska. And I know both those classes were run on the flat track, but
okay.
I'm gonna take a guess and say LMP and was on the feeder flat, and I believe stock car would have been on the King. And
okay.
I don't know who won the GTP race. I have never seen any results.
I didn't see anything on that one either.
No. So the OCC, the Ohio Challenge Cup Series, they were at HMS, Henry Motorsports Raceway in Bellevue, Ohio. They had a really good turnout. I think they had over 20 or more in each of the classes. So in GT1B, it was Alex Stoutinger winning with Bob Manzetti, the Sawdust Man, second, and Danny Shirey, Eric Shiree's younger brother, in third. I did not see GT1A results. Well, I know that Willie won that race, Willie Custer. And then
I think Cap was second.
Okay.
And I don't know who was third.
Okay. And then in the Group 10 class, Willie Custer won with Cap second and Dave DeCoster from Michigan third. And in GTP, it was Cap Henry winning with Willie second and Eric Shirey third. And
okay.
Now we'll move across the pond, as we will say. Millstream Raceway in England. We talked last week they were having a Spirit of the Raceways 70s retrospective race. And I think they ran like 3 different classes maybe within one race. I'm just going by what I see on Facebook. The A final was won by Will Joseph. Anthony Rain was second and Dave Wright was third. The UKRA class winner was Tony James. And we talked a little about Tony James when George was on the show, George Kimber.
Yeah.
And, he was in some of the famous punk bands of the, I guess, late 70s, early 80s over there. So
okay, cool.
He's kind of famous over there, not just for slot car racing.
Okay, yeah, I saw some old pictures. So I was wondering what I was looking at, but
he was involved with Billy Idol and stuff. So
that's cool.
We'll get some more bio on him next week, I think, because
yeah.
The Millstream class winner was Mickey Graves. The Vintage class winner was Will Joseph again. and the overall winner was Will Joseph. So in the last race report or results I have here in front of me would be the Great Lakes Retro Series and the Midwest Slot Car Series at Thaser Raceway in South Bend, Indiana. In Can-Am, I was the winner with Rick Stagan second, Steve Pepler third. Formula One, I was the winner again with Steve Pepler second and Joe Ligori third. And then in the LMP class, Joe Ligori was the winner with Terry Watson second, Steve Pepler third. In GTP, it was Ron Hirschman, Terry Watson, and Joe Ligori. And Terry beat out Joe by like a foot or so in the last heat for second. And then, Joe wasn't hobbling around too bad. I mean, he wore shorts and had his ankle taped up. But
I was going to ask you how he was getting around.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. So,
okay, cool.
And while we're on the subject, before we go into upcoming races, prayers and thoughts to Dave Parada from New Jersey. He, from what I read on Facebook, he had a seizure, and then they found out he has a tumor on his brain. And then I was reading later today that he going in for MRI and then probably surgery this week. So they're moving pretty fast on that. And also some well wishes to Gary Adams, Ohio racer, who's got to go get some eye surgery done. I don't think anything major, just maybe cataracts or something like that. But we're thinking of you guys, so hang in there and stay tough and get well. So.
Okay. And what do we got coming up this weekend? What are we racing?
This weekend we've got the BRS Retro Series along with the American Raceway Series at HMS in Bellevue, Ohio on the 135-foot original American crossover hill climb. And then after that's over, hopefully we'll have a GTP race using FNRS rules, kind of serve as a warm-up for the Ohio State Championship race coming up in December. ORS is at Tom Thumb Hobbies in Columbus, Ohio. The AWRA is in Staunton, Virginia. You have the Bula Bash and Enduro out at Buena Park Raceway for the retro cars. And probably the big race of this week will be the Hillbilly Howell wing car race.
Okay.
Cars are us in fabulous and famous White House, Tennessee.
Okay.
So that's all I got as far as race results and upcoming races.
So should we introduce the special guest?
Yeah. Coming live and joining us tonight.
We have the fastest track owner in America, Mr. Tracy Brown.
There he is.
Hey, Tracy, what's going on?
Great to be here.
Well, thanks for coming on.
All right, Tracy, I've known you for a few years now, and so has Ron. I think most people listening know you as owner of Slot Cars R Us in White House, Tennessee, which is a beautiful raceway. Before that, some people know you as owner of Go Fast Products, but you've been around slot car racing quite a while before you owned Go Fast. So tell us, when did you get into slot car racing? How did you get into it? And tell us about some of maybe your past endeavors you've had in the hobby.
Well, I started in 1977. That was 40 years ago this year.
Yeah.
And we started at Ernest Hills in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And we raced around here for, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And then a bunch of us decided we'd go just racing everywhere. So we raced at Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. We raced down there at that little red track they had. We raced down there every week for a year. Actually, wow. I think a couple of years. And he had a skateboard park, red track. I mean, he had a nice setup.
Now, was that red track where they had one of the speed sport races in 1980?
Yes.
Okay.
And are you racing wing? Is this wing car racing or something else?
We was running wing cars.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, we was down there with Les Wright, Vince Brown, Scott Brown, Tim Wise, Jeff Wise, all of us. That's where we all pretty much raced
The wise guys, yeah.
Wise guys. Yes. So we had a great time, and we raced in Etowah, Tennessee. We raced in up in your area, Ron, up in Ohio, and we just raced around everywhere. And so then I had a track back in the late '80s or early '90s in Gallatin, the Blue Max. Did you ever race on that track, Ron?
Yep, I went down there when you had that $1,000 to win race or something one time. I don't remember if that race had a name, but I know that me and Krebs and Richard Acart and Randy and we came down because I was at Parma at that time. So that was like 90, 91, I think, when you had that race.
Yep, I think it was 91.
Mike Swiss won.
Yep, Swiss won every race on that track.
Oh, really?
He was undefeated. Yep.
Wow.
Sure was. Yeah. And then we opened this place up 3 years ago, and so it's been going pretty good. And we got the big hillbilly race this weekend, so we're excited.
The hillbilly. Ow!
So between the track in Gallatin and this track is when you started Go Fast Products, or did you have Go Fast Products back then?
I had Go Fast Products in Gallatin.
Okay.
That's really where it originated from.
Okay.
And so we kind of carried it through the years, and it's been pretty profitable. I mean, it's turned out pretty well.
Right.
The biggest thing. Go ahead.
We have an online store, so.
The biggest thing I remember, the best thing I remember about Gallatin was that super huge oval track you had.
Yes, that was a 155-foot oval.
The thing was huge, Ralph. I mean, I know you like oval racing. That thing was huge.
165 feet?
Yeah.
155 feet. Yeah.
I never ran on it, but I remember it sitting there. I was like, man.
Wow.
Super speedway.
Yeah, we had some good racing on that old track, actually. I built that track. So,
okay.
But, yeah, it was we'd have 40 or 50 guys there on a Friday and Saturday night. I mean, it was crazy. We was running flexi cars. I mean, we'd run where we would bracket. We'd run a bracket to where you got to the final 8, and then the final 8 would run for the prize. So it was pretty crazy. I mean, it was something that was really a lot of fun back then.
Well, for those who've never been to Stock Cars R Us the track, you guys definitely got to go. This is like a must-see track if you're a racer and you want to travel.
Well, it's a must-see raceway. I mean, it's just a first-class facility all the way around.
Yeah, the whole facility, everything is first class. I mean, it's easy to get to off the interstate. You know, it's well lit. There's heat. There's air. Everything's super clean. Bathrooms are clean. He's got food. He's got big screens. He's got state-of-the-art king track, drag track, almost any part that you could want in the parts room. I mean, it's really an amazing place. I saw the pictures before you started, you know, and you guys did a lot of work, and they really turned out really nice.
Well, thank you. It took us a year to build this place. So it was a lot of hard work. As myself, Jeff Neal, and Wally, we pretty much did, and Larry, of course, he did all the paint and drywall work, but all the other stuff, Neal. Right.
Well, and before we go on a little bit, I wanted to, when we were talking about Tracy's history, like a lot of people probably don't realize, and I didn't really realize it until I got thinking about it, but I mean, there's a lot of really super good racers that have come out of Tennessee. I mean, like, you got Wally, you know, you had Stan Alejandro that raced with us for a long time, Jeff, you know,
Vince Brown, Scott Brown,
Chris Brown. Yeah, I mean, Marty, and then
got Gil there now.
Gil Gunderson's down there now. I mean, he's not from there, but I mean, you know, there's just been a ton of good racers that's come out of Tennessee,
Tom Harrington too.
Tom Harrington on the scale side of things, yeah.
John Martin, Tom Harrington.
Martin, yeah. I mean, yeah, the list just kind of goes on and on. But I don't know, Tennessee's just. I mean, right now it's a hotbed. I mean, your raceway and these other raceways around you, and now there's more opening and more. Like I seen the new tracks going in at some other place, an oval track. I mean, it's just like what's going on in Tennessee.
Red Light Raceway, I think it's called. It's oval. I think it's in Cross Plains, I think.
Yeah, he's about 15 minutes from me.
Okay.
And then we got Tennessee Hot Slots. They're about an hour and 15 minutes from me. So, yeah.
So a lot of people have seen your races over the years, and I'm not going to call them gimmicky, but you're great at promotions.
Yep.
Promoting things. You're always making cool videos. You're not afraid to try new things, put up cash, stuff like that. One of your races now, I guess this is going to be your second annual race this weekend, is the Hillbilly How. Is this your second annual?
I think this is my third.
Third? Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about the wing car race you got going on this weekend. What are you going to be running? Who might be coming in to race, things like that.
I think I counted, we got like 17 states and 3 foreign countries are coming.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good turnout, we think.
Who's coming from overseas?
We got Rick Verbeek and his crew's coming from Australia. And we got Jeff Mack coming from Germany. And who else have I got coming? I can't think right now. But, well, I lost my train of thought.
I hear you.
But
and you're not running USRA rules this weekend, but no, I imagine a lot of guys are probably going to use this as a warm-up race or testing for the 2018 USRA Nats, which you're hosting next year also.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We are. Yeah, we're excited to have the USRA Nationals here. So that's going to be a big event.
Yep.
Will this be the first time you've ever hosted a Nats?
It will be.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And we do that race in January, so that turns pretty good.
Okay. So what Ron and I talk about sometimes is kind of ironic. Is you have this world-class facility, this ultra-modern Girding King track.
Fastest track in America.
Fastest track in America.
I was waiting on that one, Ron.
And you love wing car racing, and everyone loves going wing car racing there. But now you kind of your bread and butter now is 9-second hard body cars. Tell us a little bit about how did you get started running those? Because for a while I know you were running flexi cars and retro cars weekly, and then it seems like bam, all of a sudden it's just nothing but hard bodies.
Well, some of the guys showed up with them and they wanted to play with them on the track, so we let them, and so then everybody was just oohing and ahhing over them. So we just kind of let it take its own course, and here we are today. I mean, we have anywhere from 10 to 12 to 16 to 20 on any given night we race them. So.
And how many nights a week do you run them now?
We've been running them 3 nights a week.
Wow.
Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
So it's been a real big thing this summer.
Well, I recently saw too. There's a new hard body series that was just announced. The is it the TNHA?
Yes, sir.
Hard Body Association.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and that's going to go between you and was it Top Slots or?
Yes, Tennessee Top Slot.
Top Slots. Okay, and are you guys going to do? Is this like it's like one race there, one race here, like one or two races a month kind of thing, or what?
I think it's going to be 2 races a month. I get the first one, then he gets the second one, and back and forth. And then the last race will be the 7th race, and that'll be a non-points race. But that's when we'll hand out all the awards.
So I was looking over that information that was posted today. So I'm going to assume that each race will be breakout at both tracks.
It will.
Okay. And then you're going to run NASCAR at every race, but then you're going to alternate. Like your race this week, or your first race might be NASCAR and NAS truck.
Mm-hmm.
Your second race would be NASCAR and fairgrounds cars.
I think that's the way he got it laid out.
Okay, that's the way it looked like to me. I didn't know if you knew for sure, and that was kind of the only questions I had. I mean, it looks really cool what you're going to do. So,
yeah, we're excited. We're going to have the first race here the 11th, November the 11th. So hopefully we'll get some new guys, even more new guys that want to come in and race them with us.
Yeah, because like today, there was a picture posted on Innovative Slots Facebook page, which basically they do a lot of drag racing there, but they've had a small oval there, and over the last year or so they've tried getting various things kind of going on that small oval, but they've been running the hard bodies, and they had a picture of like 30 cars on the track, and it's like it's went from nothing to that like in about 4 or 5 weeks. So the hard body thing's working really good for them too.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've seen that post today too also.
So, and I'm sure some of them guys will probably come down and race with y'all. I mean, in the Louisville gang, that's where it kind of all started anyway. But
right, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely spreading like a wildfire. So,
definitely, it definitely is.
And so everyone's running. Is it the H&R chassis that they're all running?
Yes, with multi-car bodies.
Right.
Okay. And
pro track tires.
Okay, and they're 1-inch diameter tires all the way around?
Yes. Yeah, they're millimeter, but I don't know what that.
Yeah, it's close.
It's close.
Okay. And you're running NSR motors, right?
We're running the MT motors.
MT. Okay, that's right.
MT5.
MT5.
So there's can't work on motors, but if you could, it's irrelevant anyway because it's a breakout race.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about some of your races before on the show, just how incredibly close the fields are all the way through from 1st to 20th,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So
our winner, we had a big trophy race a couple of weeks ago, and they won by less than 2 foot.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really close.
Yeah.
Actually, I took a picture and posted it on Facebook. So
I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
That was a 200 lapper too.
Wow.
So
right.
That was pretty crazy.
So does Go Fast have any hard body racing products coming out soon?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. I figured I'd check. You're always in with the latest stuff. So.
Yeah, we've been busy trying to get ready for this race and doing the hard body thing. We really haven't had time to work on it as much as we would like, but there could be.
Okay.
So, how's the drag racing going? I mean, when I went, and I haven't been down to your place probably about a year now or so. Was the last time I was down there, but last February for the NRS race, and you. Before that, when I came down, you had the little 1/8 mile drag strip there in the same room with the King track, and you expanded in the back and did a beautiful job at the back of the building and put in a 1/4 mile drag strip. And how's that been going for you?
It's been slow.
Okay.
It's been slow.
Okay.
There's 8 drag strips within, I don't know, within an hour and a half of me.
Okay.
So, and there's only X amount of drag racers in the area. So,
right.
And I think everybody's kind of migrated to their home track, and they don't travel as much as they did. So it is what it is.
Right. But no, you do. I mean, you have a first-class drag facility, so.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yep.
But we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
So as a track owner, why do you pay back drag racers but not pay back round track racers?
That's been a real
where did that even get, how did that get started? I just don't understand this part.
I don't understand it either.
Well,
me and Wally's been trying to figure it out ever since we opened this place.
Well,
it either.
Well, I can remember, okay, like, because I've started racing in '81, and like when I started racing our local track, we paid cash. I mean, if there was womp races or it didn't matter. There was always a cash payout, and then at some point, everywhere you went, they paid with certificates, race bucks or whatever, and then Group 7 Pro was the only class that raced for cash, and then there's special races, and then. Drag racing really didn't get big until the late 80s. And I don't know where, why, when, how, who started with the cash thing in drag races, but it's just been that way ever since, pretty much.
Yeah, and to be fair, Tracy's paid out a lot of cash, probably more cash than any other track owner to offer road racing stuff. Too.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's drag racers.
You happen to be the first person we had on that has a drag strip, so I had to ask.
Well, I would love to know the answer to that question, actually.
Right. Well, I mean, drag racers won't race unless it's for cash, it seems. I mean, they just won't go to the race if it's not for cash.
Pretty much.
Or if there's two tracks having a race within, like you said, you got so many tracks within so many miles. Well, I mean, if one's given 100% payback and one's given 50, I mean, they're all going for 100,
Right.
Well, sure they are.
Yep.
So it's like you gotta give away more and more money to get them in, but you've given away so much money. What's the point, really?
You're exactly correct.
So.
And then this is nothing against drag racers or drag racing.
No,
it's just just the way it is, and we're just kind of explaining and talking about it.
Yeah. Exactly. You're right.
I would, for the sake of the track owners, I would love to see the drag racing paybacks be reduced. I'm sure the drag racing guys hate me now, but I mean. For the tracks, it would be better.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Yeah. And so, I mean, we're just kind of going to bide our time and see what happens. And if nothing else happens, then we'll do something else. We'll do something different. So.
Right.
See, the other thing too for the drag racing is it's so much easier to build or buy an eighth mile or quarter mile drag strip and just stick it up someplace than it is somebody like you. You got to have a lot of overhead and a lot of square feet because you're not just a drag track. You got a lot of other stuff going in there. So it costs more money for you to keep the doors open too than it would somebody with a little eighth mile strip at their home or their garage or someplace. So
absolutely.
If drag racing doesn't work out, I hope it does. But if it doesn't, I bet an oval would look really good in that room.
It's possible. Yeah, maybe 155-footer.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. You'd have to make that like a 13-second breakout race, probably though.
Yeah, probably would be. But you never know. We're always changing things around here. You can never tell what we're going to do next.
The last guy who had a bad idea is hanging right behind Tracy's shoulder, so I don't want to give you any more ideas.
There you go. Oh, that's Bones. He's helping us out this week.
Yeah, see, he's waiting for the big cash payout for the wing car race.
Oh yeah, he's been waiting.
Yeah.
Too much. So, Hillbilly Howls this weekend. Then you got what do you call your January race?
The Hillbilly Nats.
Hillbilly Nats. That's going to take place in January.
Yep. And then we're probably going to have another race maybe in March or April that will be Nats orientated.
USRA rules.
Yeah, USRA rule.
So for those people listening that might not be really familiar with wing car racing, what are the difference in the Hillbilly rules and then the USRA rules?
Well, they're quite similar right now. They've changed a bit more, but they've went to bearings now. You can only have one motor in Hillbilly Box, and we allow two motors with bearings. And but they do have a chassis length restriction, and we do not in Hillbilly Box. Okay. And other than that, I think everything's pretty much the same, except for the chassis length. I think 4/100 is as short as you can go on the chassis length.
Okay.
But, everything else is pretty much the same, other than the Hillbilly Box.
I got you. And on your track, I'm sure the shorter chassis are probably better, right?
Yep.
So figured out. Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'll be running a short car in F Pro. It's probably 98 millimeters, I think is what it is, which is 3,960, something like that.
Oh, he's giving away his speed secrets 2 days before the big race.
Hey, I got them for sale. So, hey, I mean, come in and buy you one.
Come in and get you one.
Exactly.
So in Hillbilly, Hillbilly Box and Pro Group F, you have no guide length rule.
No.
Okay. So can you take an existing chassis and shorten it up by moving the pillow blocks forward, and that's going to be legal?
Sure.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yep.
Do you think your most popular classes are probably going to be like the Group F or the Hillbilly 12, or what's going to be your most popular class?
27 light.
27 light and Hillbilly Box.
Yep.
Okay. Those will be your two most popular classes, and that's become quite a popular class too. So those three classes, I would say.
So if I walked in off the streets, I want to go 27 light racing. What's it going to cost me realistically to have a competitive 27 light program nowadays?
You say 27 light or 2MO?
Just get your charge card out, Ralph.
27 light.
A couple of motors. They're probably 200 a piece, and then your 27 light cars probably probably $1,000.
Okay.
But I wouldn't recommend you coming in off the street going straight into 27 light.
Right.
I would recommend you start and work your way up from F amateur to F pro or even Hillbilly Box, and then into 27 light.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know I've seen a lot of people that aren't really wing car racers per se, but they're coming to run Group F, and they're going to, try to expand into a couple other ones. They're it's basically just how they got started in it,
Sure.
So.
I run Pro F, and that's just I developed this class, and so I just kind of stuck with it. So we're trying to grow. I think it's actually going to become faster than Hillbilly Box eventually.
Yeah.
But and cheaper too. I mean, it's you can build a motor. I can build almost 2 motors for what one box motor costs.
Right.
So it's and they run 2 ones on the Keen track. So I really think it's got a lot of potential.
Okay. Do you have any world records on your track right now?
Got some American records. We got some American records. 1:3:84 is the American record, which is second fastest in the world.
Right.
Okay.
And a Hillbilly Box is a world record. I can't. You caught me off guard. I didn't have those numbers in front of me.
That's all right.
So,
okay.
But I do know that our Hillbilly Box qualifying record is a 1:9.
Yep.
1:9:85 or something.
Yep.
1:9:95 or something like that.
It's like 1:9:8 something.
Yeah, I think it was. Tony Griffin did that.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Do you still have the original braid on your track from when Girding built the track?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We're going to rebraid it after the Hillbilly Nats and have it ready for our pre-race to the Nats.
Okay, I was going to ask you, as my next question was going to be, you're going to rebraid it for the Nats, so.
Yes.
Okay.
And this track has a common ground on it right now, and we're going to change that and go with independent grounds, which we did some testing a while back, and we determined that that could be an issue. So that's why we're going to change the grounds on the track.
Okay. And explain how that would be better. Explain the difference in the two.
That with a common ground, that's the only thing that links all 8 power supplies together. And if you separate to where you have a total independent lane, that would be all the grounds going back to the red power supply, all the grounds going back from white to that power supply instead of them all being tied together. We think it'll eliminate any issues that we've had in the past.
Okay. Cool. Well, the track has great power.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Everything's done right on the track. So.
Yeah, we have 8 power supplies, 8 caps. Everything is pretty much independent, and so nobody can draw power off of another lane and all that stuff. So.
Right.
I think we did it the right way. We just need to adjust it a little bit.
Right.
So I'll ask you this question: if you could, knowing what you know now about your track, if you could rebuild it, what's one thing you would change that you think could make it faster?
The common grounds. I'd do away with the common ground and have.
You wouldn't change. You wouldn't change the layout or nothing about it.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's the only thing I would change. That's the only thing I would do different.
Okay. Have you seen the pictures Gugu posted of his track he's building?
Yes, it looks quite similar to mine. It's hard to tell in pictures, I've noticed. Yeah. So I wish him luck. I hope he does well with it.
Right. Because he's having the Wing Car Worlds in 2018, right?
Yes, he is.
And then have you been awarded the 2019 Worlds yet, or is that still under the committee's rule or whatever?
We've talked about it. They've asked me to show up in Brazil, and I don't know if I can be there, but I will have a representative there. I have a real job, and so my vacation time
right
may be a little slack. That's the only reason I wouldn't go would be because of my vacation time.
Right.
And I'm going to have the Nats, which will take up a week of vacation, and I have to take my wife to Florida. So that takes up another week of my vacation time. So it kind of runs me a little short there. But I will have a representative there for that race from Slot Cars R Us.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
awesome.
Good. So, what's more important, having the Nats or taking your wife to Florida? Oh, don't spit on your screen.
Taking my wife to Florida by far.
There you go. Good answer.
Exactly, because I know she's going to be watching this.
Now, your wife helps out around there too. Like she's pretty involved in what you do and everything too, and she's real supportive. So that's really cool too.
Yeah, she's helped us out tremendously. She does all of our book work and paperwork around here, so she's a real big help.
Well, see, Tracy likes to make us think he's the boss, but she's really the one in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
No, you have a great deal going there. I mean, between you and her and the business, I mean, everything seems to run really smooth, and Wally helping you out, and I mean, I think your biggest help is all your racers. They all pitch in when they need to pitch in and get things done. So.
Yeah, Wally, he's been a big help. He's he's over there working on my F Pro car right now.
Is he?
So yeah.
Well, it must be going good because I don't hear him cussing or throwing anything.
He's in his own little world over there.
This is also, back to your history. You and Wally been racing together for how many years?
For 40 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, 40 years.
40 years. The dynamic duo.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've been racing a long time. So we have a good time.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I was thinking about it today, and I did the math, and it's been 40 years this year, so it's been a long time.
That's awesome. Congratulations to both of you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
I mean, Wally's a saint to put up with Tracy for 40 years. I mean.
Oh yeah.
That's a fact.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
But I think Tracy, I think you're a lot like maybe like Mike Swiss. I think everyone you guys have both like calmed down a little bit as you've gotten older or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I think you kind of mellowed out a lot.
Mhm. I have.
I don't remember Tracy. I don't remember Tracy ever being that wild like
No, he wasn't like. I don't mean that as bad. I'm not like.
I know. No. I don't mean that bad either. I'm just saying, Swiss has quite the history. I would never put him and Tracy in the same category.
No, I was never as bad as Mike.
No. I think it's cool that you got the track, and your love is obviously in the wing car racing because you've done that for 40 years, like you said. But I think it's cool that you're really open to letting everyone else run whatever they want to run too. Like going to the hard body racing or the flexi racing or the retro racing. It's nice to see you, open your doors or open your arms, so to speak, to all these other guys to come in and be able to enjoy the track. It was built for wing car racing mainly, you know what I mean? But everyone's having fun on it. And I think like the hard body racing shows, you just never know like what's going to be the next thing, and then you got to be open to trying things and see if they work, You
have to be open-minded and flexible.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I learned that real quick. You have to be.
And I know you tried the 3D printing cars, but that wasn't really, that didn't end up real big, did it?
Actually, I sold about 80 of those cars.
Wow.
And now you can't even find one. I don't know where they all went. Who knows? But I did sell about 80 of them, actually. 88 of them, I think, is what we figured I sold.
Wow.
Yeah, because I
don't find any of them now. So
people were just playing around with them and then just kind of left, I guess, basically, and didn't come back, or?
No, we raced them for a year. For a year we raced them, and then we went into flexi cars, and now we're into hard bodies. So it's retro in between all that. So
right.
Yeah, you had a really good retro thing going there for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pro Slot motors probably killed that class.
And why do you think? What's your reasoning for that? Like,
there's guys buying 10, 20, 30 of them at a time.
Yeah.
And a normal guy that comes in and buys one or two, he can't compete with that. So, there you go.
But that's basically the same with any kind of sealed motor racing.
It is.
It doesn't matter if it's a Falcon 7 or a Death Star 16D or, you get the guys that buy tons of them to find, a couple good ones.
But I think maybe if there was a downfall to your track, I think maybe that your track kind of lends itself to that, though. It pays bigger dividends to the guy that can have the faster motor,
This is true. I agree with you.
Well, but I raced retro cars down there several times, and I can honestly say there was days I did really good, and there was days I didn't do so good. But the days I didn't do so good because my car wasn't handling. It wasn't really about motor. It was just I wasn't getting around the track good. So, and
I think that's part of the reason why the hard body racing is so popular is because it's a breakout racing.
Right.
And I think that every guy that walks through your door on race night knows that he has a chance to win.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's not going to get outmotored in any way.
Well, and everybody can drive slow. Not everybody can drive fast.
Right.
That's true, too. But there's really an art to driving slow, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is. It's really an art to going slow.
Right.
These guys, they come in here and practice and practice and practice and gear to get their car to run 9.0 all the time.
Right.
And so, they really work at it, and they've done really well with it. So,
and the cars look badass.
Cars are beautiful.
Really good.
Oh, they are. They are. We probably have some of the best looking cars in the country here. Wally, he builds them. He builds nice stuff, and they turn out great. The snap type bodies we like the best. Some of the guys are running 1/25th scale, and they're okay, but I like the snap type bodies myself on those cars.
Right.
I think they look very unique and very stylish.
Well, and they're 1/24 scale, correct?
Yes, they are.
Right. So,
Yeah.
they're proportioned correctly, and we're the 125th scale cars. For those who don't know, they're a little bit shorter, a little bit more narrower, a little bit lower too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you put a 124th and a 125th car next to each other, you're like, wow. I mean, it's a huge difference.
There is some, there's some differences, absolutely. But the rules allow them to run either one, so that's where we go with it.
And with breakout racing, I mean, if you were running heads-up racing, the 125th body would be an advantage over 124th. But with breakout, it doesn't make any difference.
Exactly. I think that's one reason they chose to run those two, because it was a breakout and it didn't make any difference.
Right.
So, but it's quite an art, I'll have to say. Jeff Green, he's won 4 out of 5 races, but he may not win another race for the next 6 weeks. Who knows?
Right.
And
you don't know. Yeah.
Right, and Jeff's a damn good slot car racer.
Oh yeah, anything he runs, he's very good at in any class.
Right.
Retro, flexi cars, or hard bodies, he's going to be the one to beat.
Super nice guy too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so I got a question for you. So let's say you got 16 cars in the hard body race, right?
Right.
Since it's a 9-second breakout, I mean, do you qualify, or do you just randomly pick? How do you seed the mains?
We just randomly pick them.
Okay, all right. I figured there's probably no point in qualifying, I guess. I mean,
no, we qualified a couple of times just for
lane choice.
Well, yeah, for lane choice, but it was whoever qualified closest to 9-0 without breaking out got the pole position.
Okay.
And if you broke out, then you was done.
Right.
Where you are is where you are. So if you run a 9:003, you best stop your car and take it off the track. So, but we did that. We may have to get back to doing some of that again. It was kind of fun doing that.
Okay.
It's kind of like cutting that perfect light in drag racing.
Right, going for that perfect reaction time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we're excited. We got the Hillbilly Howl this week. We started off on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We're going to run the F Amateur and F Pro. And then Friday at 10 o'clock, we'll start Hillbilly Box 12 and C12, which is Cobalt 12. And then Saturday, we will run
27 light.
7 light and 2 MO. And then on Sunday, we run Big Boy Open.
Yep.
So we're excited. We're excited for the whole weekend. It's going to be a blast around here.
Cool deal.
All right. Well, I want to bring up a tech topic real quick, and Tracy, you can chime in if you want. So I've run some wing car stuff, but not a lot, right? So mainly retro, flexi, FCRs, all that kind of stuff. And you always, when I put braid on the car, you always put a full-length pair of braid on the car. Then when I started going to wing car races, and I saw the guys were cutting the braids in half, basically, and I mean, like they swear up and down that you got to cut the braid in half. But every time I've ever picked up a car that had cut braid on it, I put a full pair on, and it always goes faster. So here's my theory, and then I want your guys' theory because you guys have experience cutting braid.
All right, wait.
Okay.
Now, when you pick a car up, it's got half braid and you put full braid in it and it goes faster. Is that a scale car or is that a wing car?
Both.
Okay, all right.
Now I've never tried on like an open car. I mean, when I say wing car, I mean like box 12.
All right, go on.
So my theory is this: when I put a full pair of braid on the car, and braid starts to burn up a little bit, the car always slows down. So to me, why would you want to start with that much braid? If the car's going to slow down when it burns up, why would you want to start with half the braid? So why do you guys think that cutting the braid is the way to go?
Go ahead, Tracy.
I was going to give that one to you, Ron.
Oh, Okay. Well, I think there's a few things going on. I think with wing cars, and sometimes it works on scale cars on certain tracks. Like, I don't think I've ever tried cut braid at Tracy's on a flexi car. I have at Tri-State, which is a Girding King. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you can tell a difference. Sometimes you can't. But I think it comes down to is less friction. Because you have less braid dragging, making contact, because you're creating a lot of friction there. And I think when the braid is shorter, I think it actually reduces the arcing. I really don't know why that is.
How would that be?
But I've never really seen if I went to a track and like say, if I went to Tri-State and I raced my GTP car with full-length braid, I would be burning the tips of the braid. If I cut the braid and it works that day that way, I don't have problems burning the tips of the braid. And that could be because of the angle of the guide, and you've got your braid more forward when it's cut, so it's arcing less. Maybe there's more nose pressure or something there.
Yeah, more or less. Basically, you have more guide pressure if it's longer versus shorter.
Right.
I think it's the popping is why I think they cut the braid shorter.
For wing cars.
For wing cars, so the car won't pop as bad.
Yeah, because there's less spring with shorter braid.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's my theory. I think that's one reason.
But I mean, I've stopped my car, cut the braid, put it on, and picked up a half a tenth. Like the next lap. So I think there's something there with friction on some cars. So, I mean, that's something maybe you can test for us this weekend, Tracy, and have someone run a car with full braid and then stop and then cut it and see if it picks up speed.
I'll probably do that tomorrow night.
Okay.
Because a couple of the guys that come to your races, Tracy, like Stan Hudson or Tommy Flythe or Joe Redman and Kerry Champion, all those guys, wing car racers from down here. I always go back and forth with them about braid every time I see them because they want to come run like a flexi car and have like a 1/4 inch of braid on the car. I'm like, you can't do that.
Right.
Like, you got to put braid on the car. And they're like, oh, no, trust me. We wing car race. We know how to cut the braid, So it's just something I've always wondered, I mean, everyone has their own way of doing it. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying they're wrong. But
see, I cringe every time.
I'm just kind of curious, that's what I was looking for, basically, like what Ron said, like a technical opinion on it.
I cringe every time I see someone cut their braid because it's like $2 for a pair of braid and it's like $1.
Right.
But, you would think, okay, so like back to the less friction thing. Again, I don't know. This is something that you could try on the drag strip because, drag strip or drag racers, I think everybody runs full-length braid.
And they have a lot of problem with braid arcing too, right? A lot of times, Tracy?
Yes, they do.
So maybe if they cut their braid, maybe they would go faster, maybe have less. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a drag racer, and I don't go to a lot of places that have drag strips or talk to a lot of drag racers. But that's something that would show up too. I mean, if you ran 2 or 3 runs with a car with full braid and you stopped and cut the braid in half, and either it's going to slow down or it's going to go faster, or maybe it won't change anything. But
I usually cut about 1/3 off is what I cut off. I don't really go half.
So 75 cents worth.
I keep 75 cents worth.
Oh.
And I cut 25 cents.
You just cut a 1/4 off. Yeah, okay.
Only cutting a 1/4 off. But that's kind of the way I run my car.
Okay.
So here's a question for you, Tracy. A couple months ago, the new Red Fox guide flags came out, and they were all the rage. Everyone swore they were faster. Is that pretty much what everyone's running on their wing cars now? Are the new Red Fox guides?
Yes.
Okay.
They are faster.
Okay, and how much faster did you see on your track on average? Would you say?
I don't know. Maybe a half a tenth or a tenth. I mean,
which when the lap time's 2 seconds, I mean, half a tenth's a lot,
Sure it is.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're after every
hundredth.
Every hundredth you can get. Maybe it was hundreds, 100s, something like that. It was a difference, though. There was a difference. Enough that I have one on my race car.
Have you ever tried those HP guide flags by any chance?
No, I haven't, but I did contact him about getting some of them, though. I have done that.
Okay. And are you going to get some, or you don't know yet?
I am.
Okay. Any idea when you might have them in?
Probably in a couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. Save a couple for me. I'd like to try them.
Sure. Yeah, the blue one.
I'm sure you'll post when you get them. So.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting a lot of his stuff over here for the shop. So.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I just didn't have time to get it here before this race, so I thought I'd just wait till after this race and then get it here. So.
And are you going to have any live coverage or webcams up during the Hillbilly Howl this weekend?
We're going to give it a shot. I got my tech guy will be in here on Wednesday, and so.
Where's your tech guy at on Monday nights?
We could have used him earlier. Actually, he come by here about 4:30.
And wasn't ready, Steve.
And then it just didn't work for some reason, but he'll be here Wednesday to set everything up and
set it up.
Hopefully it'll all go smooth. We'll
see. So next time we have you on the show, I want you to go down to Colorado Steakhouse there and bring the moose. I want you to bring the moose down and put bones up on the moose.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Is that a moose or an elk? That's the inside joke. I know.
It's an elk.
I know, but I
haven't made it to the Colorado Grill yet. Everyone talks about it, but I haven't been there.
Oh, well, Rich Canute's coming in on Wednesday night, and he said he would come in and go to the motel, check in. He's going to Colorado Grill first.
It's the best It's the best steakhouse in America.
Absolutely.
Down the street from the fastest king in America.
Yeah. In America.
There you
go. Got to get all those in there.
Absolutely. We got to get our sponsors in there.
That's right.
Yeah. They help us out tremendous around here. It's they've been a real pleasure to work with.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, they've always treated us good.
Oh yeah. Well, matter of fact, we'll take the whole crew down there Sunday afternoon, and we'll all eat and get us something to drink while we're there. So it's going to be a great weekend. We're excited.
Well, all right. Well, that's about all I got. You got anything else, Ron?
I got nothing.
Okay. Well, Tracy, thank you for coming on with us. We had talked. We've always been talking about we want to have somebody come on and talk about some wing cars at some point, and it just so happened your race was coming up, and you could talk about the wing cars and the hard body cars. So you're kind of like a perfect guest at the perfect time for us. So we appreciate you coming on.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and maybe I'll be back on here again for too long.
We might let that happen.
Yeah, possibly.
All right.
You just have your people call our people and see if we can make it happen.
All right. We'll try to make that happen.
I'm sure we will.
All right, Tracy. Before we close every episode, we have to ask Ron what the secret word of the show is. So, would you like to ask him what it is this week?
Well, being Tracy's on the show and he's in Tennessee.
Hold on. I just told Tracy he could ask you.
Oh. Okay.
What is the word of the week? In
your honor, sir, we will go with hillbilly.
No, okay.
Hillbilly. So,
fastest hillbillies in America.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Tracy. We're going to keep an eye out for your race results, and I'm sure we'll be announcing all the winners on next week's show, all the podium finishers. So good luck with everything, and thank you again.
We'll post them all on our Facebook, and you can get them off of there.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank
all
you.
Right. Take it easy, Tracy.
And
thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Yep.
Another awesome episode. And once again, give us a like, give us a share. Tell us the secret word of the show. You never know, you could win something.
I'll share you on my Facebook.
There you go. So everybody, have fun this weekend. Be safe. Go slot car racing. And we'll see you next week, 8 o'clock Wednesday night.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
And next week, Ralph, it'll be episode 13.
That's right.
All right. Bye,
Thank you.
Tracy.
See you guys.
See you later.
All right. See you, everybody.